Well, we're taking two, we're smashing it together, we're seeing what we come out with. Let's jump in and see what I mean. So this one technically is called the Moo of Chaos. So this was created in January of this year, basically taking the Moo Grob that we saw earlier, the God of Chaos that we saw a long time ago, smashing them together, and this is what we get. The Moo Grob plus God of H. God of H? God of Chaos is what it said. But the description says a mix of two performing tactics of different shapes, the Moo Grob and the God of Chaos version 1. Basically tried to force the shape in since it's the easiest one to build a small team around. Tested with Man City, full holiday mode. Man City got 108 points, no losses, 3 draws, and 35 wins. It was pretty insane. 125 goals too. We've seen better from Liverpool, but what are we going to do and what are we going to see with Liverpool, Aston Villa in the Premier League and our championships out of Ipswich Town? Well, stay tuned and we will check that out next. Well, Liverpool getting first place, 106 points, 2 down from their test with Man City, but 127 goals, so 2 more than them. But you get 1 draw, 2 losses. It was a pretty phenomenal season. Aston Villa in second with 88 points. That is quite the leap down. But 102 goals, I'd say it worked. Liverpool schedule, they get through the Carabao Cup semi-finals against Aston Villa in both legs. Well, the away leg is a draw, but they get to the Carabao Cup final against Everton and win in extra time 4-2. Unfortunately, they lose out to Tottenham 2-4 in the FA Cup semi-final. But trophy number 3 does come at the expense of Roma in the Europa League final 3-1. So overall, a pretty good season. I'm not going to question that one at all. They have a fair amount of green that they usually do. I wish a little more, though, would be nice. But 45 goals for Nunez is insane. 28 for Salah, 22 for Jota and Gakpo. Assists, 23 for Robertson, 21 for Salah, 20 for Trent. Wow. Average rating, 7.52 for Salah. But now let us dive into Aston Villa's domestic cup schedule. Again, out in the Carabao Cup semi-finals against Liverpool. They make it through the FA Cup 5th round against Ipswich Town 4-2, getting to the final FA Cup final win 3-1 over Tottenham. And a second trophy in the Europa Conference League 3-1 over Fiorentina. So yeah, this worked by both very well. And they've got some green to show for it, which is always nice to see from a Villa team. 51 goals for Ollie Watkins. That is insane. 24 for Diaby, 20 for Zaniolo. Just imagine if they got some of these guys up into the 20s. Assists, 19 for Ramsey, 18 for Digne, 17 for Matty Cash. And then average rating, Tyrone Mings gets up there, but Ollie Watkins with 7.34. Data hub for Liverpool, attacking through and through. No question about it. They've got some strong attacking numbers, as they have some pretty good defensive numbers as well. And overall, you get the 3.34 goals per game. We saw 0.84 conceded and 0.88 XG against. Those are actually on the average side, but still very well done. Aston Villa having a fantastic run at the attacking side too. I mean, again, the goals per game aren't there all that much, but we got the defensive pieces. They're a little bit better than average. Conceded 0.92 is actually better than their average, which is nice to see. 1.15 is more on their average on the XG against. 2.68 goals per game. Don't get me wrong, it is nice, but there is a little bit of a disparity there, I guess, with Liverpool quite at the top. So Premier League stats, 2.79 points per game for Liverpool, 2.32 for Villa. Most goals, Liverpool in first with 127, Villa with 102. Few shots against, Liverpool with 252, Villa with 321. Most possession, Liverpool get 56%, Villa get 55. Most dribbles made, Liverpool with 660, Aston Villa with 641. And then most shots for 1 and 2, 783 for Liverpool, 671 for Aston Villa. But now Liverpool and Aston Villa did so well in the Premier League. How did a smaller team like Ipswich Town do in the Championship? Well, they clearly did a great job themselves. 103 points, 112 goals. Not quite as nice as Liverpool and Aston Villa, but, well, I guess Liverpool. But they're only 4 points above Leicester in second place and another one for Norwich in third. So they didn't make it to the first spot all by that much, but they still made it. They get to the Premier League next season. Let's move on. Schedule-wise, they make it to the Carabao Cup 4th round, 2-4 loss to Southampton, and we already know they lost in the FA Cup to Aston Villa. So overall, this tactic seems to be a little bit more average for a championship side of Ipswich Town than, say, a Liverpool or Aston Villa in the Premier League. However, they still got first. They're still on to the Premier League next season. I would say it worked. Squad-wise, yeah, they never have a lot in the green, but they got some at least, which is nice to see. 17 goals for Connor Chaplin, first all the way down with 8. Assists, 16 for Harry Clark. It looks like Leif Davis has left the building. And then average rating, Connor Chaplin with a 7.18. Championship stats, 2.24 points per game for Ipswich, Most goals in first, though, on the 112. Fewest shots against in second with 368. Most possession, you get 54% just making the list. Most dribbles made in eighth with 726. And then most shots for in first with 799. But now the tactic itself. Of course, you know I like these funky shapes. So we start out with a sweeper keeper in defend, fullbacks on the left and the right in attack with ball-playing defenders in the central spots, a DM in support, a CM in support, an inside forward in support on the left, and one in attack on the right, and an AM in support in the middle-ish to the right, and then an advanced forward in attack up front. Attacking mentality, in possession attacking with his narrow, approach plays pass into space, focus played on the left and the right, passing directness is shorter, tempo is higher, low crosses and run at defense. In transition, counter press, counter, distribute quickly and roll it out. And then out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a much higher defensive line, trigger press much more often, prevent your goalkeeper distribution, get stuck in, step up more, and invite crosses. But now overall, how did it do for our three teams? I mean, clearly it worked like a charm. Now the only issue, I would say, the only issue, quotes, is that Ipswich didn't have a lot of points or goals. I mean, they did a very good job getting to first, but we've seen them with a lot better. Anything could have happened. They did look like they got rid of Leif Davis. So a lot of things could have happened this season not to get them there. But they got there in the end to the top of the list, and they're going to the Premier League next season. So it worked. Liverpool and Aston Villa, I mean, yeah, clearly it worked. 35-1-2 is a phenomenal season with 106 points. Aston Villa also getting 88. They still can work on some of these draws and losses, but overall it worked like a charm. So if you tried this combination, one of the others, let us know how it worked for you in the comments below, but it worked here. So that is it for me, Sevian FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.